What's going on, guys? Night Rainbow here, and I'm going to be giving you a first look at a new pony theme game called Sunrise of Axoria that was just brought out a couple days ago. This is a pre-alpha build, so now it's going to be very incomplete and very basic looking. It's only available to beta testers at the moment, so if you guys would like to try to get on that and help test out this game, I got a link to the forum down below. You go there, sign up, and try to get in on this. Pretty fun game so far, though obviously, as I said, it's a pre-alpha. There's a lot of stuff missing from it, so I'm going to be giving you a look at what is currently in there at the moment, and also mention some of the issues I found with the game and any suggestions I think could make the game better. So what is Sunrise of Axoria? It is a MOBA style like game. For those of you who play games like League of Legends, Dota 2, Heroes of the Storm, you already know what this is going to be like. But for those of you who are not familiar with these games, it's a 5 versus 5 player arena, battle arena. Each player is going to have their option of a different champion, or in this case, pony knight that you get to play. They have their own abilities, usually about 3 abilities plus your ultimate ability, and you're going to be leveling up and buying items in order to gain power and eventually, defeat the enemy team. The map layout is set up so that you have 3 lanes, top lane, middle lane, bottom lane. And each lane is going to have a minion wave or a creep wave. These are basically, they just help push up against the lane, and you're going to, every so often you're going to encounter a tower. The objective is to try to take out these towers and eventually push all the way into the enemy base where their core is located and destroy the core, and that's how you win the game. There are also inhibitors just before you get to the core, that once you destroy them, you will your team will spawn a super minion that will push up the lane that had the destroyed inhibitor. So if you destroy the inhibitor on the top lane, you're going to have super minions pushing up the top lane. And then if you destroy the inhibitor on the middle lane and the bottom lane, same thing will happen. You'll have super minions that will spawn on those lanes and push that lane. Each lane has 3 turrets just before you get to the inhibitor, plus 1 more turret right in front of the core. The core is where the minions will spawn, so once you actually push up to the core and you start attacking there, you may end up having up to 9 minions attacking you once they spawn on that location, which it definitely provides a little bit more defense, but not too much. As for the characters you're going to be playing, the pony knights, there are generally 3 different types of classes. You got the tank class, your damage class, and your support class. But each class also has a sort of variant to them. For example, you might have one pony knight, for example, let's say Glory Sword, who's just a general tank. But then you also might have another pony knight who is classified as a tank warrior, who sacrifices some of his tankiness to do some damage as well. And then, of course, for your damage, you have different types of damage as well. You got your melee damage, your range damage, your casters. And again, they all have excuse me. They all have 3 different abilities, plus their ultimate, that helps them stand out and be able to do different things. Now, as the point, aside from leveling up, which you do by killing minions and pony knights, doing this also gives you currency, which is in the form of diamonds. Usually you only get this on minions and towers, or sorry, you only get this from minions if you last hit the minion. So if you get the killing hit on a minion, you'll get diamonds from that. Pretty much the same thing for the pony knights as well. If you get the last hit on a pony knight, then you'll get diamonds from that. But any fellow teammates who were also attacking that same pony knight, they'll get an assist from that and also gain some diamonds. You also gain diamonds from destroying the turrets and inhibitors. That one is team-wide. So if someone destroys the a top lane tower, the entire team is going to get diamonds from that. The diamonds are then used to buy items for your character. There are two different types of items. You got your potions, which either regenerate your health or your mana. And then there are your standard items, which provide increase your stats and also provide bonuses. Now, unlike other MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota, most of the items in this game, the bonuses that they provide are more focused on providing bonuses to your teammates rather than you. So, for example, you might get an item that increases your damage, but will probably also increase the damage of your teammates as well. Or there'll be other items that will provide other team-wide bonuses as well. Definitely a little different from other games. Some games will have something that will affect your teammates, but the majority of the items in that game mostly affect the person with the item rather than your teammates. So they're definitely going for a more team-focused matchup with this game as opposed to other MOBAs. So that's basically that's the basics of the game. At the moment, there's not much else to it. There are, in between each lanes, there are what I'm going to refer to as a jungle. That's usually what it's referred to in other games, but usually in the other games, there would be monsters in this jungle area in between the lanes that you could go attack and get additional currency from and experience. In this game, though, there isn't any of that. It's mainly just a way for you to get in between lanes. I don't know if they're planning on adding monsters in between those areas. But at the moment, it just serves to get in order for you to get to other lanes. Now, as for the issues that I've been encountering with this pre-alpha build, there are. Now, keep in mind, this game was made off of the Warcraft 3 engine. It's a pretty old engine. I believe that game came out in like the very early 2000s. So, the issues I'm going to list, I don't know how easy this will be to fix for them or not. I've never really worked with anything off of Warcraft 3, so I don't know how easy this will be to fix or not. But I'd probably say right now the biggest issue I noticed right away when playing this game was that I'm able to click off of my pony knight, which causes issue if I'm trying to attack. Like if I'm engaged with another enemy pony knight and I'm trying to cast abilities or something, and I accidentally click off him, I can't cast those abilities now. It can definitely cause some issues, especially if you're chasing after a pony knight they're running away. They run under their turret, and then you accidentally click off your knight when you're trying to run back out of the turret. You could probably end up dying because you weren't able to move your character away from that turret. So hopefully I'm hoping that could be an easy fix. Again, I'm not too sure about that. Another thing I've noticed is that I end up hitting the max level real quickly. So I've noticed that the max level appears to be 16. Now, every time you level up, you gain a point that you can spend into one of your abilities. You do not start off with all 4 abilities right away. When you choose your pony knight, you get one ability to spin into, or 1 point to spin into one of your abilities, which will unlock that ability. So basically, at level 3 is when you would be able to have all your first 3 abilities unlocked. At level 6, that will be when you're able to unlock your ultimate ability. But as you level up, you're able to upgrade, put additional points into each of those abilities up to a max of 3. But the issue I've noticed was that I found that I leveled up very quickly. Like, I think I might have hit level 16 around the 10-minute mark, maybe 12-minute mark, which is very fast compared to other games. I don't even think I had my very first item yet at this point. But another issue I also noticed was that I think when I hit about level 12, at level 12 I was able to put my second point into my ultimate. But the issue was, at this point I had already maxed out on my other abilities, so from levels 13, 14, and 15, I was getting no more ability points because the one ability point I was currently holding on to would have been to max out my ultimate ability, which I could not max out until I hit level 16. Because for the ultimate, you can only upgrade it every few levels as opposed to the other abilities. So there was a point where I just wasn't really able to spend ability points. So either they either need to just lower the max level, or maybe increase how many points you can spend into each ability in order to help counter that. Now, and one of the bigger issues, another bigger issue I've encountered with this was the pacing of the game felt very slow to me. Now, when I say that this is a bigger issue, this is more of an issue for me. It may not be an issue for other people. This is more of a personal issue, really. So it may not be the same for other people. But the game felt like it took a long time. Now, bear in mind, this was a bot game. At the moment, the servers are not up. We can't fight against other players at the moment. So everything has to be against bots at the moment. But considering it was a bot game, it still felt incredibly slow. This particular game, I think, took about 40 minutes. That's pretty long for a bot game. At least compared to the other MOBAs I've played. That's very long. And there were several factors I felt that caused this to drag on. Probably the biggest one I've noticed was that the cost of the items that you buy were pretty high at the start. Not including the potions. The potions only cost about 40 diamonds each. You could get a last hit on a minion. Last hitting the minion gives you 40 diamonds. So just killing the minion will basically buys the potion for you. But the thing I noticed was that the majority of the items at the start of the game cost 2,000 diamonds. There were maybe 3 to 6 items in there that cost 2,500. But at the rate that you're getting diamond, you're getting this currency, it took a little while for you to get your first item. Which, also another thing, keep this in mind too. With other MOBAs, I'm going to use League of Legends. I'm going to refer to League of Legends mostly because that's the one that I played. I never played Dota, so I'm going to refer to League of Legends. The way the items worked in that game was that you would have your big items that you were trying to go for, but you would have smaller, lower cost items that you would buy as you progress through the game that would later build into that to that big item. So, like for example, I'll say one of the items from League of Legends called the Infinity Edge. Your basic damage dealing ability you would get on most of your damage characters. You would have 3 smaller items within that that you'll buy, and those generally only cost about 800 to 1,300 gold. But when you bought each of those items that you bought, lowered the cost of the Infinity Edge item, which normally would cost about 2,500. But when you buy one of the smaller items, it reduced the cost of that one because of Infinity Edge, because you basically bought a piece that was going to build into that. So you're able to, not only were you buying items that were increasing your stats as you went along, but you're also making it easier for you to buy that bigger item that you're trying to go for later on. The problem with the way the items are in this game at the moment is they don't do that. You're just flat out buying the big item. You're not buying any mini items that are going to build into that. So there's no way for you to lower the cost of that item. You just have to try and keep killing minions and pony knights and towers until you get the 2,000 diamonds in order to buy that first item. But something else I noticed, I don't know if this is intentional or if this was a bug, but I noticed, I think around, by the time I took out maybe the 2nd or 3rd tower, I don't know what at what the time was during the game when this occurred, but I went back to buy items and I noticed the cost of those items went down. Most of the 2,000 cost ones I think went down to 1,500, and the 2,500 ones I think were 1,800 or 2,000, somewhere around there. Again, I don't know if that was intentional or if that was a bug. That kind of seemed a little weird to me, to be honest. I don't know what they're going for with that, if that was intentional, but I don't know, that just seems strange to me. But I definitely felt that slowed down the game because I wasn't able to buy my items soon enough in order to get the boost in my stats and my damage. Another thing I noticed, I noticed that if I was attacking a pony knight that was if I'm under my tower and I'm attacking the pony knight and the tower's also dealing damage to that pony knight, if the tower gets the last hit on the enemy pony knight, I got no credit for it. Now, I don't know if I was getting experience or not. I didn't pay much attention to that one. I have to look back at the footage that I recorded. But I didn't get any diamonds for getting an assist. The tower pretty much just stole the kill from me. Now, I know if 2 pony knights are attacking an enemy pony knight, one of them will get the assist. But I noticed with towers, and I believe with minions as well, if a minion also gets the last hit on that enemy pony knight, you don't get nothing for that. I felt like that definitely slowed it down as well. Again, I don't know if that one was intentional as well, or if that was just something that wasn't addressed. But I feel like being able to I feel like that kind of needs to change, because it's very infuriating attacking an enemy pony knight and having the turret take the kill and you get nothing for it, even though you were doing a lot of damage to that pony knight. As well, the bots themselves acted very strangely. Now they said that they were going to be working on the bots. They're going to be changing their behavior as the beta went along. So this pretty much already been addressed, but I just feel the need to mention it. At the start of the game, the bots, acted like bots, pretty much how you would expect them to. But I think about after the first or second tower went down, I noticed that all of the bots on my team and the enemy team would run back to the base, and then they would group together and go push down a specific lane. But they may only go, I noticed they would only go like halfway up the lane and then turn around and run back to the base. Then they'll sit in the base for a little bit, and then they'll go run up another lane, go halfway up, and then turn around, go back to base, and it went like that for the rest of the game. So for a long time, I was basically just pretty much just fighting minions the whole time. The only time I encountered the bots were when their team decided to go push down the lane I was on, and even when that happened, I would just have to turn around and run away because it was a 1v5. I wasn't going to do that. So, again, they said that they were already going to work on the bots some more, so I know that will hopefully get fixed, but I just felt the need to address that because that definitely slowed down the game I was playing, just because I didn't have anyone helping me anymore. Going back to the items, which is another thing I felt slowed down the game a lot. A lot of the stats on the items, or just the items themselves, I felt like they have very little impact, to be honest. Now again, I know they said that they were trying to go for a more team-focused game, so this may be why the items are the way they are. But I felt like with the items I was buying, I didn't really feel like I was doing a whole lot until I had about 3 items. And even then, some of the stats on those items felt useless to me. Like there was one particular item that I got. It was an attack item that increased my crit chance and my crit damage and stuff like that. But it also had a lifesteal stat on it. So when I would deal damage to an enemy, I would get healed back. The problem is, from what I've noticed, that's the only item with the lifesteal, and it only gives you like 20% of it. I don't know if they plan on adding more lifesteal into the game, but with that one particular item that I used, I barely noticed the lifesteal. It was so minor that I'm actually wondering why it's even in the game. It was not going to make any difference in any fight. It wasn't going to save me at all. There's another item too that causes your attacks you deal to enemy minions or pony knights to slow down their movement speed. But again, the issue was that when I used it on them, I really didn't even notice the speed reduction. It seemed like they were moving just as fast as they always have been. So, again, a lot of the stats on there, just the items themselves, it felt very minor. Like I ended up getting an attack speed item, so I can attack faster, but I barely even noticed an attack increase. Those stats were so small. I feel like something needs to be addressed about it. Because again, I know they're going for a team-based, more like the 5v5 team fights going on. I know they want more of that, but I don't know. they need to do something about the items. Like I'm sorry, but the items just feel so boring to me right now. And the last issue I kind of felt like would slow down the game was again with the towers. I would push up with a minion wave and start attacking the tower. The towers start doing the damage to the minions and start killing them off. But then the towers start attacking me, even though there's still some of my friendly minions near, like under that tower. Now, for League of Legends and for Heroes of the Storm, the towers always prioritize minions. So it's always gonna attack the minions until there are no more enemy minions nearby. Then it's gonna attack the player. The only exception I know with League of Legends is that if I'm under an enemy tower and I deal damage to an enemy player, the tower is then gonna attack me. But if I don't do that, then it's gonna prioritize the minions first. And this felt like an issue to me because, you know, I'm under tower, I still got minions nearby, and I'm trying to deal damage to the tower, but then the tower starts attacking me, so now I have to run away, which is now slowing down the game because I'm not, you know, attacking that tower and trying to take it out. So I feel like the towers need to just, at least they need to focus on the minions first. They need to prioritize them. If they're able to do something else like add defense to where if I attack an enemy pony knight under their tower, the tower will then attack me. You know, if they're able to do that, you know, that'll be great too. But right now it felt like it was going very slow for me. So in terms of issues that I've had with the game so far, that was about it. Now for some of the things I would suggest that they do, again, try to make items feel like they have more of an impact. Like, I'm not saying go crazy with some of the items, like, because I could tell you in League of Legends, there are quite a few items in that game that are just busted. So I mean, I understand if they don't want something like that to happen, but at least, you know, at least make it feel like spending 2,000 diamonds on an item should be worth it. You know, I should be able to spend 2,000 diamonds on like an attack speed item and immediately notice that my attack speed go up, instead of just like hardly even noticing there was any attack speed at all. Again, have towers prioritize minions first. That would be, you know, that will help speed the game up a little bit. And again, if they're able to do this, probably go with the general MOBA style, where every third minion wave you have a siege minion. So for like with League of Legends, you'll have your standard minion wave. It'll be 3 melee minions and 3 range minions. But then every third wave, there will be a cannon minion with it that'll deal increased damage and has higher health. You know, do something like that. You know, probably, you know, you can probably just do it the same. Every third minion wave have some type of a little more buffed up minion that's a little tougher to kill and deals just a little bit more damage. I feel like that will help, you know, speed it along a little bit and help push that lane a little bit more. You know, just minor stuff. Whatever helps make the game go a little bit faster. You know, I don't want to sound like, you know, long games are bad. But generally, long games are really only fun if, you know, you got like an even matchup and you're getting some fun plays. If the match is fun, then a long game doesn't really, you know, it's not bad. But if you're getting stuck in a long game where, you know, you're just getting face rolled the whole time, but it's just not ending because we're not able to push up a lane fast enough, then, you know, that ends up being boring and it's just kind of a problem. And lastly, I don't know what their I don't know what their plans for that little jungle space in between lanes are, but I feel like something they could do again. This is something I know League of Legends has. What they could do is have like a big monster in those jungles in between the lanes that will require the entire team to attack to take down, and if they do, they get a team-wide buff that lasts for maybe 2-3 minutes, but it will give them an edge that will help them push the lane a little bit more and push the enemy back, give them a little edge in team fights. Just something like that, just whatever. Because again, this is just a pre-alpha and we're only dealing with the bots, so obviously I have to wait till they decide to bring the servers up before I look at this again and see how team fighting actually works. Because like I said, at the moment, after like the first few minutes, the bots just decide they don't want to fight each other anymore. They just want to group up and push the lane halfway down before they turn around and come back home. So, we definitely need something until I can actually get into a player versus player matchup. Then these are kind of just the suggestions I'm going to go with and the issues I'm going to look at. If it doesn't seem like if it seems like a lot of these issues were just end up fixing themselves in a player versus player fight, then that's even better. But in terms of going up against bots, this is just the stuff I've noticed, and the stuff I would like to see get addressed. All right, so that was my first look at Sunrise of Axoria. Again, if you guys would like to try to get into the beta testing for this and eventually maybe fight against me or fight with me when the servers come up, the link to the forums is down below. You go on there, register, and sign up for it. Might get into it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and look at this gameplay. I hope it was interesting. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.